Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Motive Racing for another brilliant evening of racing here at Ruapuna Park. We're starting off with our Tier 2s in the CLIO Cup, the seasonal opener here. We're just getting underway with qualifying now, all the boys just going around and warming the tyres up. We unfortunately don't have a full grid this evening, but hopefully next week we'll have a full grid. Obviously if you do want to race, feel free to join our Discord server and we can hopefully get you on the grid next week and fighting it out against these boys. Join our Discord server. I'm just watching now, GTR just about to start his lap with less than 13 minutes to go for these boys here at Ruapuna Park. Unfortunately Andy isn't here with us this evening. He's currently out on a driving test at the Daytona Road Course, just currently learning how to take the bus stop properly, so hopefully he can join us on Friday for the GT5s. We'll have to ask him how he got on with the driving test. So let's see what driver's got this evening. James is first to start his second lap here, 1:33 on his first lap, absolutely brilliant. Kieran looks to have gone back in the pits, maybe changed his setup, currently 2.5 seconds off the pace. And GTR is just putting his lap 3/10 off the pace at the moment. Let's join on board of him just to see a lap around Ruapuna Park. Let's jump in the cockpit, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Tricky first corner there. We have turned track limits off for this evening's racing just because this left-hander here, if you cut it slightly you will get an invalidated lap, which is not what we want for these boys. We want them to be pushing as hard as they can and to be able to battle it out maybe too wide through that corner on the first lap. So obviously we are going to keep an eye on these boys and make sure they aren't cutting the grass and going straight across the middle of the track to try and get on pole. We unfortunately are missing deck paint this evening. He has moved over to a different league, so we're wishing the best of luck and hopefully there will be no incidents this evening. There we go, a lap on board of GTR Evo. New driver here at Motive to start season 2. Quite a lot of new drivers on provisional pole at the moment. The father, I've just found this out, I hope I got it right. The father and son, we have Pro Alpha and Pro Fubby Currently both out on laps at the moment, and it does look like there Pro Alpha just managed to miss that car there just in front. Span touched the grass coming out of that long left-hander. So currently sitting on pole 0.3 tenths in the lead. So, ladies and gentlemen, a few facts for you whilst we're just watching now the boys qualifying with 8 minutes to go. We'll jump on board with the son of the family racers here at Ruapuna Park. The track is 2.06 miles long, and let's try and find. There we go, 3.3 kilometers. The track, well, the lap record held by Scott Dixon is a 1:15.8, and I don't think those boys are going to be beating it tonight in those little CLIOs. It's also now called the Mike Perro Motorsport Park. Not actually called Ruapuna Park. The major events it holds is the Lady Wigram Trophy, New Zealand Formula Ford, New Zealand V8, Porsche GT3 Cup, New Zealand Drift Series, and New Zealand Grand Prix. It consists of 11 turns, and like I say, it's 2 miles long. Well, the track features a drag strip, pit garages, racing school. Hopefully we can get Andy there and teaching himself how to turn left, a speedway circuit, and even a radio controlled track. So yeah, a brilliant track tonight for these little CLIOs. Although we do only have 8 drivers, a tight, twisty track like this will definitely bring the best out of them. They might not be the fastest cars, but they're definitely one of the most fun cars on this game. So at the moment we do have a father-son 1-2. Unfortunately I forgot already which one is father and which one's son. Right, now I can remember the red car is the son of the two, and he's sitting on pole, so obviously the father's now back out on track, trying to put in a decent lap to try and beat his son, currently 2 tenths out in front. I had a comment from Kurt Hodgson, poor Andy, yeah, very unfortunate he can't make it. He is still on L plates at Daytona. But glad to have you on the stream, Kurt. Well, glad to have you on the stream, but also very unhappy that you're not racing this evening. Obviously you had a brilliant season for season 1. What are you doing, mate? Comment and let me know why you're not racing. I haven't really paid attention to the drivers list, obviously. I'm only commentating. I don't know if you're in tier 1 for this season, but be very pleased if you are. We're just seeing now Pro Alpha pushing that car as much as he can, sliding through that left-hander. Right-hander, sorry. Let's see how the other drivers are doing. James currently sitting in our time trial for the GT3 Championship starting on Saturday. I think he was the fastest driver we have here at Motive. And there we go. G's just commented Kurt isn't on the drivers list. Kurt replies, CLIOs aren't my kind of vibe. Well, there we go. Kurt likes bigger, faster cars, and he definitely performs well in them. Gypsy George in the pits at the moment. 4 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, subscribe, ding on that notification bell. Let us know who you think is going to win here in this Tier 2 race. We're only 4 minutes away from that starting. Currently have a father-son 1-2. There we are, there's the father of the two, pushing that car as much as he can through the middle sector. So there we go, the best laps at the moment. A 1:31.5, 2 tenths behind him. We're on board now with the father. Just seeing a comment there from my favourite YouTuber. Apparently he likes my voice. I'd love a face reveal from you, mate. I hope you're streaming tonight's race. Hopefully I can get that link up and shared about, because you definitely deserve those views. You are one of the best YouTubers on Project Cars. Just hope you get that webcam sorted. Here we go, let's get some excitement. A round of applause for RDJ. Absolutely brilliant stream we saw of his foot champs at Norsheslife. Was it last week? Last week, yeah. Foot champs at Norsheslife, where he said, "Hey gays." So yeah, feel free to keep those comments coming in, guys, because I am bored sat here without Andy waffling on. Obviously no one else to talk to. I'm just talking to a TV, but yeah, it's going to be a brilliant race between these two. It looks like Pro Alpha's brought that gap out now, sitting on pole, so he's overtook his father 5 tenths now. He's dropped it down to a 1:30. So these boys look to have been practicing. I did hear in the pre-lobby these boys have been putting in a lot of time, learning the race line, sorting setups for this evening's race, and they're definitely showing at the moment. The season opener, both of them over 5 tenths in front of their nearest rival, with GTR currently in the pit sitting third, 7 tenths behind those pair. Yeah, Kurt, you're not wrong there, mate, talking to the TV. Well, at least I'm getting a response from someone if Andy was here, that's all I'm seeing. But at least I've got you in the comments, mate, to talk to. How was your day, Kurt? Let's keep this conversation going. So there we go, our pole sitter now back in the pits, looks happy. 0.6 tenths now in front. I think it was father, Profil father, I think. So Pro, I think, goes on his last lap now. Looks like someone spun off at the first corner. Very kind driving there, whoever it was, to just let him past. Oh, and it looks like Pro's foot span out. Very unfortunate there. Absolutely pushing the limits to that car. So it looks like a provisional podium with 12 seconds left to go this qualifying session for the seasonal opener here at Motive Racing, our CLIO Cup Tier 2 Championship. As James comes into the last corner now, our qualifying session is over, everyone's on the last lap. Is James going to be able to improve on that 1.3 second gap? Will he be able to get on the podium and not possibly onto the first row? No, he isn't able to. The only driver we have left out now then, DJ Phil, in the middle sector at the moment, currently sitting in the back. Very unfortunate for him, but will he be able to improve it now? There we are, coming round now into that right-hander, and he's going to switch to the left onto the back straight. I mean, is it a back straight? I suppose it is. Heading towards the last corner now. It's very easy to mess up and not get a good run out of. But he is going to be our last driver now across the line to finish this qualifying session for our Tier 2 seasonal opener in the CLIO Cup at Ruapuna Park. Will he be able to improve on that lap time of 1:39? Will he do it? I don't know. I'm looking at a tarpaulin. There we go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Our qualifying session here at Ruapuna Park for our Tier 2 drivers here at Motive Racing. If you do like what you see, ladies and gentlemen, leave a like. Feel free to comment because I'm on my own this evening. On pole we do have the son of the father-son duo. So obviously those pair have been practicing a lot. Only 6 attempts between those pairs, so it does look like we have got a good battle on for this race. Just behind we have GTR Evo, then James sitting in 4th, Liz in 5th, Gypsy George in 6th, Scrabble Kieran in 7th, and DJ Phil coming at the back in 8th. Let's have a look at the comments. I played a set of course earlier for the first time. Yeah, I've heard a set of courses had an update and it's feeling wicked now on the wheel. If you're on in the day, Kurt, feel free to join us boys in a party. And apparently ALTEL has got some good wheel setups and stuff like that as usual. It's going to be easy to set someone up through the middle sector. What do you mean, crash into them? We're not. Andy's not here tonight, mate. He's not on the grid. I'd like to see their race pace. Well, gee, if you stick around, mate, we're about to get underway here at Ruapuna Park. We're joined trackside, watching on the left, I think, is Pro Alpha, the son of the duo. In the red car is the father. And in 3rd, we've got GTR, James in 4th, Liz 5th, Georgie boy in 6th, Scrabble Kieran in 7th. DJ Phil there coming at the back. Hopefully he'll get a good start and get off in front, but we are about to go green, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get underway here at Ruapuna Park for the seasonal opener. And then let's go green, ladies and gentlemen. We're underway. Pro Alpha gets a brilliant start there. James gets an absolutely phenomenal start. We're 3 wide, ladies and gentlemen, off the line. James going through the middle. Absolutely phenomenal start there for James, and it looks like he's taking the lead. Absolutely brilliant start there for James. We're in the first corner. Someone's cut the curb. They managed to get away with it though. Very safe driving there. Let's up further back. Scrabble Kieran up to 4th now. Back at the front, this 3-car battle looks to have got away. Both Alpha duo look to be happy to just sit there at the moment. Just behind James, hoping he makes a mistake as we come into the middle sector for the first time in our 25-minute race here for the Tier 2 CLIO Cup seasonal opener. Ladies and gentlemen, comment down below who you think is going to take the victory. Kurt says, let's go James. Oh no, commentators, curse boys, what's going on? What's happened? I was reading the comments, but yeah, at the moment we have Pro Alpha out in front, the son of the duo. So it looks like James had a problem there in the middle sector. I'll blame that one on you, Kurt. I didn't see that. Good evening, J Palm. Nice to have you here, mate. Pro Alpha just runs a little bit wide there, under pressure from his father at the moment. Just behind there, we have this battle going on, and someone runs wide there out to that long left-hander. Everyone's trying to battle at the moment for track position. Doesn't look like Kieran's getting away from these boys though. James up the inside there, brilliant overtaker there again from James. He did have a couple of problems last season with collisions with drivers, but he does look like over the 2-week break he has managed to sort himself out and get out of that dodging. But off in front now, 1 second in front we have the son and father duo. Absolutely smashing at the moment as we start the second lap. Let's join on board with Liz. He's watching these drivers out in front. 2 wide just now. Is Liz going to go up the inside into the hairpin? He is going to do so. Absolutely brilliant driving there from those boys. Is he going to get the undercut? Oh, they're 2 wide again, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely awesome start to this race from these Tier 2 boys. A lot of these drivers are new to Motive, and they're showing they are brilliant drivers already. Falguest, good luck boys, great racing. Yeah, Falguest, as a kart racer mate, I think you need to get a wheel. We're going to start a GoFundMe, and I'm going to stop drinking. Every can I stop drinking is go into that fund for you to get a wheel, mate, just for you, pal. In the meantime, I'm going to crack one open. As we see there, is Liz going to go up the inside? No, he doesn't manage to get it done. But James has made it back up to third, ladies and gentlemen, as he starts his third lap. I don't want to bring that commentator's curse out again, but he's out being an absolute stormer at the moment. He looks like he's on the pace. Let's have a look at after 3 laps at the lap times. So it does look like he's only about 5 tenths off the pace of them two in front. So if them pair off, oh, it looks like someone's gone off. Kieran just cuts that inside again, so it might be something to do with his brake bias there. Coming into the first corner, slamming the brakes on. A little touch there on the inside to GTR. Up in front we do still have this 2-car battle going on with Liz and James. We're seeing comments there about O2 Racing. Fortunately I am on TalkTalk, so my internet is running fine this evening. No problems at all, but we will see O2 Racing team this evening in the Tier 1 race. These two boys out in front still. No pressure at all from them pair, keeping a little gap in case they do make any mistakes, run wide or anything. Very safe racing from them pair. This mid-pack battle going on between GTR and Scrabble Kieran. Kieran runs very wide there out of that right-hander. He didn't make up any time though, so it's not going to be an issue. And there's a comment from apparently Motive Racing. Didn't know that was a person, but little racing team boys. I prefer Aldi, to be honest, mate. We're on lap 4 now, ladies and gentlemen. In the background there we just saw Liz run wide, and also Kieran. So Kieran's having massive problems with grip this evening. Liz manages to keep it under control, and still on the back of James on lap 4 of this race. Less than 20 minutes to go now. Just seeing a comment from Honey Badger. Wow, loving the stream. Thanks, mate. No worries, pal. Great commentary. Cheers, Corey. Liz there just cutting the lawn as he comes into this right-hander. So it does look like we have got a 3-car battle for 3rd position. Let's jump on board with GTR, see what he's seeing, and it looks like Liz has run wide again. Very unfortunate just not to get on the brakes early enough there into that left-hander. What's happened at the back? I'm just looking at the timings there, and it does look like George might have span, but we have got a battle going on for 7th position. George looks to be going up the inside of DJ Phil into the last corner. He thinks better of it, keeps going now. All over the back of DJ Phil is Gypsy George. Gypsy George flashing his lights, letting him know he's there, trying to put pressure on him as we go into the first corner of the 5th lap here at Ruapuna Park. If you are just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, you're here at Motive Racing, one of the best leagues there is around. Your usual commentator Andy isn't here this evening, unfortunately. He's on a driving lesson at Daytona, but you're stuck with me for this evening. We are watching the Tier 2 race. We do have the Tier 1 race coming up after this. All the boys have been not testing really. I've seen them on today. Comment there from Corey Smith. Come on, Georgie Porgy. Angie, come on, George. Got some fans here at Motive Racing of our drivers. Let's jump on board and see what George is doing in that cockpit. Oh, he's dropped off a bit from a 2-second gap now between George and DJ Phil. A comment again from Corey. Come on, George. I didn't read the first one. Sorry, mate. But it does look like we do have some battles going on in front still. So let's see what's going on with these three. James looks to be pulling away from the boys behind Liz and GTR. Starting lap 6 now. A lot of concentration needed from this track. Touching the grass, as we saw earlier, you can spin off very easily. These pairs still out in front, happily driving on their own. It does look like these two are going to be taking the win here. I don't want to use the commentative curse, but it looks like someone's had a spin. Scrabble Keenan looks to have had a spin there in the first sector. We didn't manage to catch that, but he's managed to get going and now unfortunately down to the back, but he is catching up to Gypsy George. Let's have a look at the comments. Just remember, DJ Phil is on a controller, he's doing really well. Yeah, anyone on a controller is doing absolutely brilliant. There we go, very consistent race lines there, hitting the apex perfectly there, DJ Phil. As usual, one of the safest drivers on the grid. George just sitting there behind, very happy to do so, and it does look like we're going to have a battle for 6th position between these three drivers at the moment. Up in front though, we still do have that battle going on for 4th position between these two, GTR and Liz. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 15 minutes left of this race. Please comment who you think is going to take this one. Is it going to be the father-son duo, or they're going to hit each other and take each other out? We don't know what's going to happen yet, but 15 minutes to go now, ladies and gentlemen. There we see a circus act. 2 wheels coming around that left-hander from GTR. Still have this battle going on. Oh, and a touch of wheels there. George just manages to catch DJ Phil on the inside and spins out. Unfortunately, Scrabble was just had nowhere to go and hits George, but the boys managed to get underway, it looks like. Very unfortunate there for George. Keep the comments coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously I'm commentating on my own this evening, and I'd like some feedback. What you're thinking of the racing and what's happening. So these are your leaders, ladies and gentlemen, on lap 8 of this tier 2 race here at Ruapuna Park for this evening, our seasonal opener. As we see there, Pro Alpha just hitting that curb and managing to throw him wide, so his father's just sat on his wheel at the moment, putting him under a bit of pressure in the touch. Ladies and gentlemen, contact coming from these pairs, so they're happy to race it out. They're not just sitting there anymore. We just saw in the background there, James coming into the image, pushing tyres out of the way. Those other 2 cars behind as well. Let's have a look at the timings at the moment. On lap 8 we are, ladies and gentlemen. The fastest lap does come from our leader, Pro Alpha, 1:31.3. Sorry, I just sneezed. And then just behind is his father, so those pair are setting the pace at the moment. Hello CLIOs, glad to have you along for the stream, mate. This is the tier 2 race this evening. If you'd like to stick around, we do have the tier 1s coming up after. Please feel free to like and subscribe. We are going to be live again on Friday for our GT5s, the seasonal opener for that as well. Then Saturday we do have the GT3s, LMP2s, and then on Sunday, we have the NASCAR and IndyCar League. starting then. I think it is Sunday. And then back on Monday we do have the GTEs, which happened last night as well. If you did miss that stream, feel free to look on the channel. I just saw there in the background someone span out maybe. Oh, Gypsy George looks to have gone off the pace a bit due to that contact earlier on, but up in front we do still have a little battle going on. Nothing major at the moment, all the boys are split up across the track. But it does look like GTR is looking to catch up to James. James just hitting that curb there, will have lost him a little bit at a time as he's caught up to Pro Alpha. As that Pro Alpha made a mistake then through the middle sector. James all over the back of him now, putting pressure all over Pro Alpha. So it does look like the father of the two has managed to get away at the moment. There we go, we're on board with James on lap 9 of this race, ladies and gentlemen. 11 minutes to go, so that's changed things up quite a bit. Will this be a tactic? Pro Alpha slowed down to keep James back, or has he span? Right, so let's have a look further down the field. Obviously this battle going on for second position at the moment, it is now, between these three drivers. GTR looks to have been, he's only a second back at the moment, but he's definitely saving tyre wear. James obviously pushing to try and catch up to Pro Alpha. As we saw there, he clipped that curb and it threw him out wide onto that outside of the track. Just behind there we saw Liz all over the grass, so he hasn't had the best night of racing. Spent more time on the grass, as we saw, but that can be rectified for next week's race. A change of setup looks to be needed. It looks like George is pitted. Maybe he didn't put enough fuel in his setup. He comes in there. He isn't changing tyres, so it might just be mechanical damage. He might not have opened his radiators. Very unfortunate there for George. We're still on board with this battle, so it looks like James hasn't got the pace to keep up with Pro Alpha at the moment, but he does have pressure coming from GTR at the back of him. We're just on lap 10 now, ladies and gentlemen. Less than 10 minutes to go. We do have a full grid of drivers in our tier 1 this evening, ready to go. After this, we're going to have a 10-minute break after this race, just so we can set the lobby up and get the boys ready for their race in tier 1, and so that I can go and get a couple of cans of cider. You've got to stay hydrated in this job, commentating. You don't want to have a bad voice. So obviously we have seen James. If you're only just joining us, James unfortunately did run wide, I think, on the first lap after an absolutely phenomenal start. He got off the line, went through the middle of this father-son duo and managed to get into the first corner in first. Absolutely brilliant start. Then he span out and he's been chasing the father-son duo all the way, as we just saw at the end of the picture there. That red car is our race leader, Pro Fubby, the father of the duo, racing in our tier 2 seasonal open this evening. So yeah, less than 8 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. GTR looks to have gone in the pits, so I don't know what's happened to him, but he was doing brilliant there, keeping up with the battle that was going on in front between Pro Alpha and James. So I don't know what's happened with him, whether he's running out of fuel, but James just runs wide there. Is that the first corner? It looks to be the first corner. So he's lost a fair bit of time now on Pro Alpha. 2 seconds it's going to be, as he now regains the speed and is losing less time. So GTR's out of the pits now. down to 5th position. Very unfortunate there. In the back of your picture, there's his closest competitor, DJ Phil. Just behind him, 3 seconds back, is Scrabble Kieran, a new driver. And Gypsy George, very unfortunately, a bit of contact with DJ Phil at that same corner, span him round, and he had to pit for an unknown reason at the moment, but we will find out soon. So there we go, 2-second gap between James and Pro Alpha, just in the front of the picture. Obviously our race leader was there then again. There we go, a comment from Motive, as you saw there. Be sure to leave a like and sub to watch more races here on Motive Racing. Hopefully we'll have Andy back soon if he has passed his test at Daytona. But yeah, on Friday we do have our GT5 race, seasonal opener for Tier 2 and Tier 1. A comment there from G. Go on Phil, you're doing great. Yeah, absolutely brilliant from DJ Phil, as we can see there. Very twitchy because he's on a controller, so he's doing absolutely brilliant against these drivers. Very consistent, no problems at all this evening from DJ Phil. A lot of the drivers have made mistakes, as we saw earlier. Obviously James span on the first lap, well, ran wide, and I don't know what happened to Pro Alpha, but he was all over the back of his father. He was all over the back of his father up until that point. And DJ Phil's definitely been one of the drivers of the day for me. No problems at all, he's just been driving around, very consistent. Let's have a look at the lap times at the moment then, ladies and gentlemen. So we have had a new fastest lap, I think. Pro Alpha's currently setting the fastest lap times. His last lap was a second quicker than his son's. So he's definitely trying to catch him. So we see there both of them in the picture. Pro Alpha knows how far in front he is. James runs very wide there out of that right-hander. Coming out of the last corner now, Pro Alpha, we'll see very shortly. There he is, the race leader just in front of him, only 3 seconds after that incident a few laps ago. And we'll look further down the grid now. It does look like there might be a little battle coming on with 4.5 minutes to go to this race. DJ Phil being chased down by Kieran. JR's just commented, support Motive Racing. Yes, definitely, JR. Glad to have you here commenting, mate. Are you ready for tonight's race? Definitely, everyone should go and watch that after this. Our Tier 1 races. JR was the champion last season for the Tier 1. Absolutely phenomenal season there for him. Four minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. We don't really have any battles going on at the moment apart from this one we're watching. We've just seen JR's just said the lads look very fast. Not sure if I can even get on the podium tonight. Well, you never. Oh, Scrabble Kieran's ran wide in the first corner. That's very unfortunate. He was trying to catch DJ Phil, so he was pushing. Obviously, tyre wear is to take into factor at the end of the race at less than 4 minutes to go. He's pushing hard. Less weight in the car as well, less stability. So very unfortunate there for him. But obviously DJ Phil, very consistent driving as usual. He's managing to get away from Kieran at the moment. But yeah, JR saying he doesn't think he's going to get on the podium tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to stay tuned to find out what does happen. Here at Motive in Tier 1 we do have a rule where in the sprint race, if you finish in the top 5, you are unable to qualify for the feature race. So that means you'll start at the back, and on a track like this, very twisty, very hard to overtake with it being not very wide. So it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Everyone's chanting on DJ Phil this evening. A lot of fans in the chat for DJ Phil. We're going to stay on board with him unless we see any more battles. Our race leader at the moment is Pro 4B. Absolutely phenomenal race from him. He's led from the start, apart from the first lap where James got an absolutely brilliant start. But no issues at all. We're going to stay on board with DJ Phil our driver of the day. Another comment about James. Kurt Hodgson's still watching. Go James, woo! Oh no, that wasn't about Phil. There we go. There's James, currently sitting in third. Unfortunately, a lot of issues with his driving this evening. He just needs to relax and be happy to just sit behind someone and not trying to put pressure on them. He's definitely got the pace though in that little Clio this evening. We have seen he has got a lot of pace in GT3s. He is the fastest driver in the time trial we've just finished. But less than 1.5 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. At the moment we have Pro Fubby out in front, the father. There's the son just coming around the right hand, the Pro Alpha in second. There's James, 7 seconds behind our race leader. Liz 14 seconds back, throws it over the curb, runs wide out of that right hander. GTR Evo in fifth at the moment, 35 seconds back from our leader. Very unfortunate for him. I think he did pit earlier on in the race. Whether that's for fuel or damage, I don't know at the moment, but obviously DJ Phil's had an absolutely brilliant race on that controller. Very consistent, no issues at all, as you can see from that condition of the car. That can go straight back to the shop and be sold. Pristine condition there. Just behind him, Scrabble Kieran's been chasing the whole race. A lot of crashes, well, issues, spinning out, running wide. So obviously a lot of new drivers with less experience here at Motu. We are happy to have them, and we do like to educate those drivers, including Andy. We do have Miztech as well, who is one of our new drivers. Personally, I have taught him a lot, and he showed he's been learning, and he did win a race last season, so absolutely brilliant. And we do encourage a lot of drivers to join Motive, whether new or experienced. But yeah, definitely Scrabble Kieran next week's race. I definitely just want him to stay cool, relax, and if he's catching someone, just to be happy to sit there and wait for them to make a mistake. They're going to spend more time looking in the mirror where you are than looking in front, I'll tell you that, mate. So time remaining is 0, I think, and it does look like we are on the last lap, ladies and gentlemen, here for our Tier 2 seasonal opener in the Clio Cup at Motive Racing. As we come in the middle sector towards the last sector, just in the background there, the son of Pro Fubby unfortunately had an issue about 10 laps in, which meant he did drop back to James. Unfortunately, James didn't have the pace to keep up as he comes into the last corner now. Our race winner this evening, Pro Fubby. An absolutely pristine race, no issues at all. He's just sat there out in front. Flash of the lights, a massive well done to Pro Fubby this evening. Very consistent driving. Second position is Son. Comes across the line. They'll be very happy with a 1-2. The champagne will be popping. James skids across the line to take third. Liz coming across the line 11 seconds back to take fourth. Very good points this evening from these boys. Unfortunately, GTR did pit halfway through this race. He was up there for that 3-car battle. 4-second position as he comes into the last corner now. Massive round of applause for all these drivers this evening. Unfortunately not a full grid, but like we say, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to join in, join our Discord server. It is on the Facebook page, and you can get signed up for next week. There we are. Scrabble Kieran looks to have got past DJ Phil on the last lap. Unfortunately we didn't catch that, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, but it does look like Scrabble Kieran's going to take 6th position if there's no issues in this last corner. There we go, coming around now. He takes a wider line. DJ Phil on the inside. There we go, flash of the lights to Kieran. DJ Phil comes across in 7th. Absolutely phenomenal drive from him. Ladies and gentlemen, our results for our Tier 2 seasonal opener here at Ruapuna Park. Pro Fubby wins this race, and then Pro Alpha with the fastest lap of the race on 1:31.3 in second position. James in third, Liz in fourth, GTR Evo in fifth, Scrabble Kieran in sixth, DJ Phil in seventh, and Gypsy George in eighth. Well done to all our drivers this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please stick around on the channel. Our Tier 1 race will start shortly. Be sure not to miss that. We have a full grid of drivers waiting to get going into that first corner. Thank you for joining us, ladies.